Now, would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
See? I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world.
Yo, what the did Puff just say?
Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead.
Yo, she be exposing everything on God.
Puffy and Al almost died.
Sit down, right there, don't go nowhere, little baby gon' shake that, 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 shit, yeah, I like that, bring that, right here, sit that, right there, don't go nowhere, say yeah, I like that, bring that, right here, sit that, right there, don't go nowhere, baby gon'.
Yo, what up? We back with another reaction video, reacting to Surviving Diddy. Swamp Stories. We might as well go ahead and get right back into it, man. We left off with Diddy getting into the violent era. Diddy basically getting accosted by Suge Knight and getting Jermaine Dupri slapped. And then someone shooting next to where they was at after a big brawl happened. And then RP Big Jake. Let's get into it.
Well, about a week later, Wolf was arrested for the incident. So, does this mean that Puff ordered the hit of Suge Knight's best friend? Death Row definitely assumes so, but Wolf was able to beat his case about a year later. In the meantime though, the beef was up. With Tupac shot and now Big J killed, Death Row was looking at Puffy like an absolute menace. And coincidentally, not too long after the loss of Big Jake, Tupac was released from Rikers Island. As soon as he got back to LA, he hopped in the studio and recorded Hit 'Em Up. One, if not the most disrespectful song in rap history. He dissed Biggie by saying that he smashed his girl and pretty much obliterated the whole bad boy camp. As you would expect, Puffy was pissed. But at this time he felt invincible, so he decided to do the unthinkable. He decided to schedule a bad boy tour on the West Coast from Seattle down to San Diego. However, he knew that the tour was a risk, so he decided to tap in with his best connection in LA. This would be a man named P.Diddy, who he met at a hydraulic shop in Compton. Essentially, in 1994, Puff asked Keefe if he could borrow one of his cars for a video, and they locked in from there.
He had called up our hydraulic place and asked to use a lowrider.
But Keefe wasn't just a car guy, he was also a high-ranking member of Compton's Southside Crips. So naturally, when Puff announced his tour, he hired Keefe and the Southside Crips to protect him.
He had a West Coast tour coming up, but Zipper came pick me up. We rolling up Greenleaf in our neighborhood, and his phone ring, boom, and it was Puff. And he like, you think it's cool to come out here and do concerts? I'm like, why it wouldn't be cool? Just let me know the dates and give me some tickets. We had the Crips there, but I see he was trying to play us against each other. Crips, Bloods, you know what I'm saying? Crip, Sugar Blood, we the Crips.
So behind the scenes, Puff was potentially creating a beef between Compton Crips and LA Bloods.
I guess he played it smarter. Dude with the red, I get the blue.
Well, thankfully nothing happened and the tour went smoothly.
Like he's a dub.
But later that year, they would run into each other at the Soul Train Awards and they would have a standoff backstage.
He's trying to manipulate niggas like they
Tupac
chess
and
pieces,
Suge
bro.
pulled up on Puffy.
You hear the door go boom, and then you see Tupac with Suge and about 1,000 Bloods and Crips walking down the middle of the auditorium, just screaming because Big them had just went off. So just imagine Tupac coming, walking down the aisle, walking up the steps, and just walking into the back. It wouldn't have been too good if they got hold to him, because they couldn't have handled what they had with them at that time. Like, nah, they were totally outnumbered.
Puff felt embarrassed and disrespected, and something needed to be done. So allegedly that next night, he took Keefe D out to dinner on the Sunset Strip. And there, according to Keefe, Puff offered him $1 million to get rid of Pac.
Biggie and Puffy are at this place called Greenblatt's Deli on Sunset, and he tells P.Diddy, man, I just need you to take care of this situation with Suge and Tupac.
He's claiming that Puffy offered him $1 million.
Why the hell is Chris Mullen here?
Suge or Tupac?
Both
or
of
both.
them. Yeah, both their names came up.
$1 million in 1995 is equivalent to over $2 million today. And to a Compton Crip who's probably broke, this is life-changing money. If this is actually true, then Puff is a cold man. Because there's no way in the world that any gang member would ever turn this down. And Puff knew this. It was only a matter of time.
He about to pay Keefy D with Craig Mack money, bro. Somebody slapped Diddy in his face.
September 7th, 1996. It's a big day in Las Vegas as Mike Tyson is set to fight at the MGM Grand. Of course, for the big fight, all of the celebrities are in town, including Tupac. Well, it's the afternoon and everyone is having fun before the event. Particularly, Tupac and Suge Knight are walking through the casino lobby. That's when they're approached by a man who's being disrespectful. This would be a young man named Orlando Anderson, the first cousin of Keefy D and fellow Southside Crip. Well, the story goes that he disrespects Pac and Pac socks him in front of everyone. Orlando is furious, so he goes and gives a statement to police.
Tupac punched me.
Then he meets up with Keefy D and tells him about what happened at the casino. So Keefy and Orlando sit in the hotel room thinking about what they can do.
First and foremost, violating for talking to the police.
Then they get a call from a very important factor. This would be a New York plug and associate of Puffy by the name of Eric Von Zip. Zip allegedly calls them and says to meet in his rental car. Keefy and Orlando hop in and he hands them a Glock 40. They then hop out and Zip takes off. Keefy and Orlando then hop in their own car. 11 p.m. The Tyson fight empties out and Tupac hops in Suge's BMW 7 Series. Suge then pulls off and stops at a red light on Las Vegas Boulevard. Coincidentally, Orlando and Keefy happen to be reaching the same red light. They hear some girls yelling Tupac's name and approaching the BMW. That's when they pull alongside the car. From there, Orlando rolls his window down and the rest is history. Bang. The incident shocked the world and shifted all the attention away from the Mike Tyson victory. The world's biggest rapper was now in critical condition and not expected to survive. 5 days later, on September 13th, Tupac was pronounced dead at the hospital. Everyone wanted to know who did this, but no witnesses ever came forward.
What you mean, Brandon
Well,
Cuban?
here is where things get juicy. Damn, that was corny. Right after the news broke, Keefy D recalls getting a call from Puffy. He claims that Puff asked him, "Was that us?" and promised him the $1 million reward.
You said that Puffy called and said, "Was that us?"
Because Puffy called too, right?
Yeah, him and Biggie's wife. What's her name?
Faith.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Them two calls and everything.
He just asked, "Was that us?"
Who said that?
Puff did.
Now it's time for Puff to pay up. He allegedly sends $1 million check to Zip and tells him to wire it to Keefy.
Zip had a check in his right back pocket, and that check was for $1 million.
Now, all that needs to happen is for Zip to deliver it to Keefy and his life is changed forever. But did you guys think that that would actually happen?
No way.
So the FBI told you that Zip kept that money as well.
They said Zip's a dirty. Everybody.
Bro, you took Tupac out the game for $0.00. You took Tupac out the game for a nigga pride getting hurt because he got punched on. Like, bro, not to be the nigga to be like, damn, you did it for nothing. Because, to be honest, nothing's worth taking somebody's life unless you're defending yourself, but or protecting your family. But like, what is you could have at least got a down payment, brother. $250K something. Like, bro, I need half for a front, bro. I'm not about to just catch nobody for free, bro. Down payment, something, payment plan, something. And Diddy supposed to be a gangster, all this other. He supposed to be feared and all this other. Everyone Zip don't give a hell, bro. Yeah, let me get that $1 million, bro. I'm not scared of you, bro. I'm gonna take that $1 million and walk off. Like what?
Cross you. You guys never got any money.
Never.
For
My
anything.
nigga got Puff out y'all socks.
Not even a pair of Sean John drawers.
Man, what was Puff thinking? It's almost like he orchestrated this.
But he never gave the money to him.
But thank God he never gave him the money, right? Think about it. If he gave the money, Puffy will be in prison now, money for hire.
You know, Eric Von Zip keeping the money kind of shielded everyone from the situation in its own
So he's a savior
type of way.
According to the FBI,
No.
because Zip didn't give the money to Keefe, Puffy dodged prison. But here's my question. Is Puff really responsible for what happened?
What did he save? Diddy got Biggie. Hey, bro, we're not gonna play this game, bro. Diddy got Biggie took out the game so he could just make money off of that man being out of there. Like, you didn't save nobody. You just got more people harmed. Von Zip, you should have gave that man's money so the feds could have got all y'all lying. Biggie ain't do nothing. Biggie would have been chilling. He would have just needed a new label. Like, come on, man.
To Tupac. Yes, he did offer the $1 million, but it was Tupac jumping Orlando Anderson that really caused the situation, right? Well, Keefe disagrees, as he thinks that Puff is to blame.
If I wouldn't have never met him, I wouldn't have never been involved in this shit. You know what I'm saying?
He wouldn't even have been down in
Yeah,
Vegas.
man. So you feel like Puffy, he's the reason for your empire and Suge empire going down because of the whole situation with Tupac.
Exactly. He the only one still balling. Because he pitted us against each other, it seemed like.
But what do you guys think? Is Puff responsible for the loss of Tupac, or is Keefe D a grown man not taking responsibility for his actions?
Both.
Well, if you ask Diddy, he'll tell you that he had nothing to do with it.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we not even going to go there with all due respect, but it's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Regardless of what you believe, the truth is that Puff was becoming the boogeyman of the rap game.
Why-
With Big
take your shades
Jake and
off.
now Pac gone, Puff
no, I
felt
didn't.
like nobody could mess with him. His violent ways were just starting, and that takes us to the next chapter of the story. After the passing of Tupac, Puff went about his life like nothing had happened. But for whatever reason,
pulling
his
J-Lo was
bad boy
crazy.
artists were not so secure in their ways. In fact, they were very cautious of their whereabouts and made sure to avoid California at all costs.
should have avoided
Eventually,
Puff
though,
at
they
all
would have
costs.
to go back to Cali. And that takes us to the Soul Train Awards of 1997.
pull it up.
The awards
Right.
are held in Los Angeles, and because of this, the bad boy artists do not want to go. In particular, Mace thinks it's too risky, and Biggie decides to not go at all. He happens to have a broken femur, and he tells Puff that he's in too much pain to fly back and forth. He also mentions that going to LA
Hell,
is
Biggie
not the
break his
best
leg.
idea, which is really the real reason. But Puff tells him that he'll be safe and nothing will happen. And according to the bad boy president Kirk Burroughs, he kept convincing him relentlessly.
No,
We could not go.
my leg is
Biggie
broke.
did have an inconvenience. He had a car accident. I think it was in Brooklyn, maybe downtown Brooklyn. He had a broken femur at that time, and he was recovering from that. Big sized person, could not really sit comfortably in a plane, not even first class, with a cast on. It was uncomfortable. He was talked into going to the LA portion of the trip.
Strangely though, Puff doesn't care if Biggie goes to the award show, he really just wants him at the after party.
What?
Yo, that whole week, man, Puff was like, yo,
That's
man,
a setup.
yo, Big, you gotta come to this party, you know, and he wasn't getting the response that he needed from Big to make sure that he was going to the party.
Finally, Biggie caves into Puff and decides to come to LA. But what Puffy doesn't know is that directly after the
Should've been
award
a man.
show, Biggie will be flying to London. This is because Clive Davis booked him for a major media appearance where he'll be introduced to a worldwide audience. March 7th, 1997. The award show takes place and everything goes smoothly. That's when Biggie tells Puff that he's headed for the airport to fly to London.
R.I.P. Biggie.
As you would expect, Puffy is livid and he calls Clive Davis right away. He tells him to cancel Biggie's appearance in London because he wants him at the party in LA.
But it was put together so that Biggie could receive an international press junket in London with all press from around the world meeting him.
You should've
that
just not told
Saturday,
Puffy, bro.
Sunday after the Friday award show night. Diddy called late Friday night saying he's not going to London. Call Arista, cancel it. You go. You represent it. You go. He's not going. He wants to stay here in LA. So we knew how big of a event that could be.
Strange, right? Wouldn't you want your artist to fulfill this amazing opportunity?
No, I'm about to take
Making
him out
him
the game.
skip out on a worldwide appearance just so he could go to some silly party? It doesn't quite make sense.
Making him fly all the
On
way out
top
there
of
with a
this,
broken leg
earlier in the
just to go to a
day,
party is
Mace
crazy.
warned him that some guys might be coming after them.
They was telling him that they wanted Big and Puff, and he was all right. He was good. Me and Mace spoke, and then he was telling me all them bloods and everything that was out there.
If this wasn't enough, Gene Deal informed him as well.
I said, Puff, I got some intel. The guys are coming to kill us tonight at the museum party.
Here was Puff's response.
He said, Gene, I don't want to hear that. He said, you ain't got to go if you don't want to go.
So Puff knew there was a threat and brushed it off. Puff, Big, and most of Bad Boy are at Steve Stout's party in the Hollywood Hills. At 12:30 a.m., LAPD show up to shut down the party due to a noise complaint. Because of this, everyone at the party is forced to go their separate ways. For Biggie, he rolls out with his friends D-Rock, Lil Cease, and his driver G Money. At 12:45, they stop at a red light on Fairfax and Wilshire, and that's when a Chevy Impala pulls right beside them. The incident shocked the world again, and everyone assumed that this was revenge for Tupac.
No.
Now, of course, this may be true, but something that happened directly after is very strange. Puff took a flight to San Diego just 2 hours after Biggie's passing.
Puff went to San Diego and they put him on a jet about 2 hours after Big died.
See, I don't know everything about the world, but what I do know is that when your best friend dies, you don't leave them. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and all I can think of is, was Puff involved in the passing of Biggie?
That was his best money move, brother.
Well, his bodyguard Gene Deal seems to think so.
You gotta look at what people do, man. You know Pac just got killed. It ain't no kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk, he couldn't run. Puff ain't want none of that beef. So what I'ma do is, y'all want the sheep? I'ma put him out the pasture. Catch him if you can. If you the wolf, if you got that wolf in you, catch him if you can. Why in the hell you would put your man in a situation? There's plenty of places Big could have been. Why the West Coast?
Did Puff sacrifice Biggie in order to stop the beef on the West Coast? You guys tell me. There's no way that Puff would do this to his closest friend and main artist, right? And after his passing, he even released songs to commemorate him.
For the money. For the money. Bro, I think Puff got $1 billion, right? Bro, how you think he got $1 billion? Come on, man.
Not to mention that he spoke highly of him in interviews as well.
And as far as my theory, it would be inadequate for me to speculate. I would just be like everybody else to speculate on who did this or why it was done. I mean, one thing I do know is that it was evil. It was ignorant.
Look at his eyes.
It hurts, you know what I'm saying?
What has it been like emotionally for you?
He looked away when he said it was evil. He looked away when he said it hurts. That nigga's capping.
I mean, it's a tragedy. Seeing a close friend like that gunned down.
He didn't see it.
What have you been going through?
Honestly, you know, it's been hard. I mean, that's the only way I could describe it, you know. When it wasn't supposed to be like this.
Let's talk about that. Tupac Shakur's death about 6 months ago kind of showed how vulnerable rap artists are.
Yes.
Did Biggie at all feel that his life was in danger?
He never told me, I can only speak, he never told me he felt that his life was in danger. We always...
But all your mans did, though.
Me and him, we always had conversations, and I'm very close with God, and through our relationship, I was trying to show him how God is his friend, and he was taking in God as his friend, you know, and it was a gradual thing.
After seeing this interview, are you guys convinced that Puff had nothing to do with it?
Man, Puff.
Who knows, but wow is all I have to say. But I'm not the only one who feels uneasy. In fact, Bad Boy's second biggest artist felt sick to his stomach. In the height of his rap career, Mace decided to leave Bad Boy and to become a pastor. His relationship with Puff had fallen apart and they've been arguing over money ever since. So with Biggie and Mace gone, Bad Boy was falling apart at the helm. But leave it up to the genius of Diddy, he would quickly replace their talent.
Albert All-Star?
In 1998, Puffy would discover an East Flatbush rapper by the name of Shine Poe. Shine was brought to him by DJ Clark Kent, and he was so impressed that he signed him to a major deal on the spot.
And
The deal was worth millions of dollars, and Shine was given 3 cars and 2 homes. Shine was Diddy's new protege, and it was working out really well. They were quote-unquote best friends, and Puffy had him rolling with him everywhere. Maybe he was a changed man, and this was the artist he was not going to fall out with. Or maybe Sean Combs just is who he is. December 27th, 1999. It's a big night for Shine as his debut album is finally finished and it's ready to drop after New Year's. So to celebrate, Puff takes him out to Club New York in Times Square. It's Puffy, his bodyguard Wolf, the infamous J-Lo, and of course Shine. As they're strolling through the club, Puff accidentally bumps into a man named Matthew Allen, also known as Scar. This is bad because Scar happens to be a notorious street dude from Brooklyn. Well, he instantly turns around after being bumped and sees who it is. He then decides to make a scene and starts yelling at Puff in front of everyone. Then, according to witnesses, he threatens Puff and even threatens Shine as well. He then does the unthinkable. He grabs for his waistband and all hell breaks loose. Shots ring out and everyone runs outside the club.
Niggas not playing with you.
3 people were injured in the incident, but thankfully everyone made it. But here's where things get interesting. In typical New York fashion, Scar went straight to the police. He told them that both Puff and Shine targeted him. So the next morning, Sean and Shine were both arrested. Could this be the incident that finally takes Puff down? Puff hired the 2 best lawyers in America, Johnny Cochran and Ben Brofman, but of course, Bad Boy did not provide a good lawyer for Shine. Either way, both of them were facing major time in New York prison, so here's how it went. For Puffy, his amazing lawyers worked hard and he was found not guilty on any charges. For Shine though, his case went completely differently.
You know what I'm saying?
He admitted to letting a shot off in the air, but says that he was not the one responsible for the 3 victims. However, the jury didn't believe him and he was sentenced to 9 years in prison.
Overly tough.
Shine felt betrayed by Puff during the trial. That's because in his eyes, he saved Puffy's life and Jennifer Lopez's. On top of this, he claims that Puffy sent a witness to testify against him in order to take the blame off himself.
People probably have the impression that you're just consumed with the idea that, you know, justice wasn't served here and that somebody turned his back on you.
It's not a matter of, you know, turning your back on me. Like, how do you call a witness to testify against your comrade? But I'm facing 25 years, and you looking at probation. Yeah, those are the things that, you understand, are unacceptable. You don't have to hold my hand. You don't have to do nothing, but don't try to hurt me. Where, you know, he calling the witnesses, you know, to do me dirty, then you understand that, you know, well, man, if these guys is working for him, because I went to the judge like 3 times complaining about inefficiency with my lawyers because they was just dumbing out.
So now, did Puffy sacrifice Shine so he could dodge a prison sentence himself? Well, of course, Gene Deal seems to think so.
And Shine know he had put people up to testify against him and all that. Ain't no way somebody gonna send me to jail for 10 years when we all could have walked away. Shine know what I'm talking about.
If this is all true, then it's another example of Puffy being disloyal to those he calls his friends. It seems like everyone else is disposable when his is on the line.
Of course.
Or you could look at it like this. In his defense, he had a lot on the line and he did what he had to do to be free. Either way you look at it, this is a major stain on the story of Sean Combs.
Alright. Diddy just a bad guy. Like, bro. Why would you even roll with him or trust this man? The only reason I even see people wanting to be near Diddy is for monetary purposes at this point. Because it's like, he been on so he could put people on. That's literally it. But yeah, that's part 2. We're going to finish this as part 3. It's a little 18 minutes left. So, but yeah, we're going to finish this in part 3. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Share the video. And I'll catch you in the next one. I think we about to get to Diddy being a freak in the next 18 minutes. So I kind of want to split this up. But I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Stay safe, y'all.
I'm a cowboy, can't stop me, ain't to live is to conquer. All this pain got me feeling accomplished. See these games turn me into a monster. Hey, I'm a cowboy, can't stop me, to live is to conquer. All this pain got me feeling accomplished. See these games turn me into a monster. I'm a cowboy, can't stop, can't stop. Hey, all that pain got me feeling jaded. Many what you wrote when to make it. Feel plugged into the mix, but lagging out before the update. Drop back in different times, same location.